Good day, everyone in Empowered Soul Network. I am Sandra Kellogg, and I'm here with April Azzolino, newly published author of Sacred Self, Everyday Rituals for the Modern Woman. April, welcome.
Hi, Sandra. So good to be here. So good to see you. And um, Sacred Self, Everyday Rituals for the Modern Woman, I'm pretty excited about. It was a co-authored book with 16 other co-authors, contributing all of these different rituals that we can implement in our daily lives. And whether we realize it or not, we're all using rituals anyway, from getting up and having that morning cup of coffee to brushing our teeth. There's usually some kind of ritual you have in your day anyway, but maybe some of them aren't working out so well, or perhaps somebody would like to implement different ones or different ways of your energy and helping yourself. So anyway, I became a part of that book, and yeah, it's been a love in action, getting it launched and working with the other co-authors and team members, and I'm just happy, it's out in the world now.
That's super exciting. And I love how you said that. I've known you for a very long time, April. April and I are colleagues, and I like to call you a friend. I think it's a mutual feeling. And what you said there about that feeling of, yeah, we have rituals all the time. It's just how conscious of them are we, and what rituals are we actually choosing to do, right?
That's right. What ones are working and what ones perhaps maybe not working so good. But, the good thing is you can change that anytime you want
Mm.
to what is in your highest or best good. And I think that's what people find in Sacred Self. I mean, it is designed for women, but I like to say my chapter is good for men too. You're going to get something out of that. So, and probably some of the other chapters also. So, I think everybody, if they want to raise their vibration and frequency, how would you like to implement just better rituals or a better way of living, or perhaps something else in your spiritual life? Because no matter what, you are having a spiritual life on planet Earth. That soul in that body doing your thing. And, it can just help you implement maybe something else if you want. So my chapter is a daily practice, 7 keys in conscious soul regrouping for
Mm.
the sacred self. So it's really about setting your energy and regrouping your energy at the end of the day. And I know, from our colleagues, we've had a lot about, regrouping your energy. But, in this chapter, you'll find ways to set your energy to begin your day. And what I love about, my chapter, conscious soul regrouping, is, how do you want to do that? And it doesn't take so long. I mean, you can spend 15 minutes to 30 minutes, just depending on what you have. And, sometimes I'm like everybody else. Maybe it's 10 minutes. I got 10 minutes to do something really well, set my energy, and then go out in the world and do what
Mm.
I do.
Mm.
And then come back and regroup my experiences. Because, it's life in a physical body can get kind of wonky donkey, as I like to say. And, what am I doing? I mean, I had an experience this weekend, house sitting of all things, for someone. And I realized I would do this differently now. Now that I'm like here in this home and house, this perhaps isn't what I really want, but I learned a lot of different things. So regrouping what I'm getting out of my opportunities in life
Mm.
can set me, work with a lot of different clients. And there's one of the reasons why I wrote this chapter is because I realized people were not setting their energy and regrouping their energy, and, kind of floundering. The people would come to me, I don't know what to do. Where am I going? Or just not having a pivot with themselves.
Mm,
And I realized, if they were doing this ritual that I've been doing for like 15 years, they would be using their own inner wisdom. You wouldn't even need me. I like working with you, but you probably wouldn't even need me if you were doing some of this. And so, spirit just kind of, I like to say, one day downloaded the how to set it up
mm.
as a chapter. And so now people have a way. I like to call it a map. You have a map now to begin and end your day, so you realize what you're getting out of your earthly experience.
Mm. I love that. It's so practical too. So you're talking about this, all this spiritual realm and being wonky donkey in your physical and all that, but it's like that's such a grounded and practical thing that you're describing that people can do.
Yeah, I like practical things. I mean, I love the woo-woo, I love my crystals and, some of the woo-woo, but at the end of the day, I really need some practical things to help me, or at
Yeah.
least I do. And I find a lot of my clients and friends, they do too, because really it's practical here on earth. We can just have a few simple tools, I like to say, in our little toolbox,
Yep.
then we can go out and be like, okay, this is where I'm going. This is what I'm focused on. Ooh, yeah, I would do that differently. Didn't like the way that worked out. And know where I'm beginning and ending, like what's me, what's not me. What am I gaining from all of these experiences? Some of my clients are just not even getting what they're gaining from their experiences. So
Mm.
this is a good roadmap for that to
So
begin and end.
you talk about your clients. Can you give a little bit more of an introduction to what you do beyond you being this published author?
Oh, yes. So as you know, I've been working with Wayshowers College for about 15 years. So I do a lot of the kind of spiritual consultations from that organization to help people tune in to their inner guidance or angels, whatever that word is, and how their innate intuitive, language is, what that is for them. How is it working for you? And kind of giving that roadmap. And then I also do past life regressions and between lives, the energy of you before you got that body for yourself. Why did you choose to come here? So that really big picture of your spirit. So a lot of that. And once a week, just for fun, I work at my metaphysical center here in Las Vegas, Nevada, where I live. And I'm a licensed psychic. So I do psychic readings. And it's really because of those psychic readings that I decided to write this chapter, because it really made me realize where people weren't getting their answers for themselves. That inner wisdom, that roadmap, really feeling that wonky donkey or just that limbo place.
Mm.
And it's from being in that experience, that one day a week, 4 hours a week, that's it. I was like, people just really need a blueprint to help them how to start and end their day. And so I do a lot of different things kind of in that spiritual or personal development in that realm, depending on what are the needs of the people. So I just check in, what are the needs of the individual, and that's where I go.
April, what was it for you? Like, where were you at in life when you decided to go down this journey and this path of your, for lack of a better word, your spiritual growth and development?
Yeah, I'm 60 now, so I was about 45. It's been about 15 years. And someone came to me actually from Wayshowers College and was talking as a hairdresser, doing my thing as a hairstylist, a creative, and about the psychic gifts. And I was just really curious.
Mm.
What does that mean, psychic gifts? I'd been to psychics. I mean, it's funny now, I play that role. And I was just honestly, my curiosity, because I didn't understand what that was. I was just like your normal, everyday individual. I would say I was intuitive. I picked up on my clients, but I didn't know the breakdown, like how those gifts actually work. And because of my curiosity, because I happen to be very curious about life, it's probably from that creative part of myself. How does that work? I want to know answers.
Hmm.
I mean, I want to know what I don't know, and I'm going to find out what it is. And it is from that place of curiosity that allows me to go down, let's say, roads that maybe perhaps other people don't travel because I'm just really curious. And so I did. I went down that road because I was just curious, like, oh, am I psychic? Well, how does that work for me? I had no idea the language of it. And so I went down that road and I was like, oh, so that's how that works for me. It works different for some other people in different ways, but I got to understand how it works for me. My first gift is prophecy, and or they may say claircognizance, and I did. I was like, yes, I would always know, like, oh, I think I'm going to see Joe today for a haircut. Joe would show up. Be like, I knew that was going to happen. And it would be like those kind of things that was always, I had a lot of mystical experiences, but I lived in a very practical world of hairdressing and, fancy salons and doing that thing. So then I became like, well, now I understand this. Now I want to, what more can I understand? What else is there? And so, right, the road, I just kept walking down it, where now, I mean, I'm, at this age, I'm no longer hairdressing. I'm mentoring and doing past life regressions and co-authoring books and everything that because of a curiosity that led me down another pathway to
Hmm.
ask questions, to keep asking questions. What does that mean? What is that? And I'm glad I did.
Yeah. Is there another example of a life experience where you led with that curiosity and it unfolded in a way that you didn't expect? Is there anything that pops in your mind about that?
And in what way do you mean?
In any way, you just talked about curiosity, and I was just like, I can just feel that essence of you, and like I'm seeing you as a little child, and just all that level of curiosity, and how life unfolds in such unexpected ways. So I just was inspired to ask, is there anything else for you in your life that may seem unrelated, but just talking about that energy of curiosity and where it has taken you?
I think my whole life has been led through curiosity. I mean, so it's, I mean, I grew up in Southern Appalachia in Southern Kentucky. I grew up in more of a poverty-stricken area, especially in, the late 60s and 70s.
Hmm.
I grew up in a small town of 500 people. It actually said Science Hill, Kentucky, population 500. See, the little Southern twang starts
I
coming.
heard it.
And and so I grew up in that kind of environment, that traditional religious experience. And then, when I got older and went to high school, and I had some boyfriends, as girls do, right? And I moved out from my parents' home. I lived in different, cities. I decided I didn't want to live in my hometown anymore. And I just, got in my car and drove to Florida because my sister was living there, and moved there, and just started living. Um, what I can make it. I don't know how I'm going to make it. I'm going to make it. Got my own apartments. I mean, I lived a single life till I was 41, so which is pretty much unusual for most women. I wasn't very traditionalist,
Hmm.
and it just became out of that curiosity that, oh, I think I'm going to become a hairdresser. Something came in the mail at my sister's house about cosmetology, and I was reading, and I'm like, I think I'm going to do that. I think I would like that. I was a waitress and a cocktail waitress, and I was like, I think it's time to leave that. And so I became a hairdresser
Mm,
because I curiosity. I think I can do that. And I think I'll have a lot of fun doing it. And I was right. My inner knowing was right. It served me for 35 years.
mm,
So just kept exploring and finding salons, and I worked in different states. I mean, I worked in Kentucky and Florida and Ohio and here in Nevada too. So
wow.
it just kind of living through that inner knowing of I'm going to be okay. I can trust myself and provide for myself. And so that was, it's just like, I guess it's something innate, I
Mm,
guess, for me is, do I sense this is right for me? Because I have I think a good barometer of sensing like, oh, time to leave,
mhm,
time to go, time to move, time to change. So I think by 45, when the resources of Voice Shores College came to me, it was like, again, like, I think I'm really curious about this
mm,
because I had so many mystical experiences through my life that I couldn't quite maybe put a language to. That it gave me a way to put a language to something for me to understand a big picture of
mhm.
being a soul on planet Earth, living this kind of, magnificent life that I could put something together for myself, kind of put the puzzle and go, oh yeah, that fits for me. I understand that now.
Is there ever anything that dampens that, or maybe if there's somebody out watching this video and has that feeling of where they just not allowing their curiosity and that knowingness to lead the way, what would you say to that person? Or do you have any personal experiences with that?
Well, I would say my personal experiences would probably be if I was around people who were trying to squash it,
Mm,
right? Squash the curiosity or squash my excitement to do something. Then those are the individuals that I'm probably not gonna, don't hang around them.
mm,
And I've done it. I mean, I've hung around them because I wanted to be maybe the cool kid or hang with, cool people, or just needing a sense of belonging because I didn't really follow a traditional path. But if I would have done that, I would have really squashed my spirit.
mm,
So it's, to me, better just to go live what you feel is right for you, you know, and just go do that, because that to me is the like measuring the temperature of something.
mm.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, is that really true for me, what they're saying? I got married at 41. I didn't have children. I really lived alone till I was, almost really 40. So, all of those kind of non-traditional things, and society can put a lot of pressure on women to do something else. And I had that pressure. I know that pressure. I mean, and I could really share those experiences. Because, one day I thought, oh, I'm just going to go get a dog because everybody wants me to have a baby. Maybe if I have a dog, they'll stop. Luckily for me, all the dog stores were closed at 9 p.m. at night. And but that was the pressure.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the next day I could regroup my experience and be like, I'm not getting a dog. That's not fitting for me. But I know that pressure. It
Mm,
happens. You just
yeah.
be finally you can just say, I don't think so. That's still not right for me.
Mm.
What's a true feeling?
Do you have any practical, because I think, I mean, I know I can relate, right? There's always at some points in our lives, you know, the importance of fitting in, or the importance of keeping the peace, or the importance of this, right? All those outer things can layer themselves, right? So I think it's just so beautiful how you bring that up about that outer pressure and even being able to identify that. Do you have any practical tips for somebody that is just to help them give themselves a little space when they're feeling that imposition or pressure? Like you just said, well, I mean, you just gave this example, right? You're going to go get a dog and nothing was open. That's a lovely universal divine intervention there, right? Is there anything that you do now when you're feeling people trying to give you pressure, where it just gives you a little bit more space to to tune into your own inner knowing?
You know, now, let's say at this juncture of my life compared to then, I may have not, I may have gotten caught up emotionally a little bit more then, where now would be like, okay, I need a quiet moment, just a quiet moment, even if it's 5 minutes.
Mm.
5 minutes can be really long if you're feeling the pressure right around you. So to be like, I need time. And if it doesn't, if it's not right, if something is not right, I think I have better healthy boundaries to say, let me check with you later. Let me check with you later on that. Or the simply word, not now,
Mm.
not now. So that I'm not in someone's circle of something that may not be right for me, especially if I'm getting a pressure on it. For me, that's a big signal not to do something.
Mm.
So if there's pressure to it, if it feels heavy, if there's something anxious or stressful, this is not the time to make a decision.
Mm.
The answer is no. It's really pretty, it sounds simple. I know it's not always to say no, but I take what's happening inside my body as a signal, right? The body will always show up like, oh, you know,
Yeah,
so just say no, or let me check with you later.
I love
That's a
that.
nice way of getting out of something.
Yeah, and I think, like you said, it's just like creating that space to be able to get back into your own, right, own field. It's like my version of that. I would always feel like I have to be quick to answer, and so I, at a certain point in my life, I was like, pause, just the pause button, just hit pause. You don't have to go, but you don't have to answer right back. Um, so that's something I continue to practice, and probably will for the rest of my life, but I see the improvements. Okay, so tell me, April, how would you define what an empowered soul is? What does that mean to you?
Ooh. An empowered soul means to me someone who's just really leading themselves in all the ways that means. They are their own inner leader. They're not being led, they are leading themselves in what they really want to do, their own force of nature, that they're just getting up. I've got this to do, I've got that to do, and really just shining their own rays of light and knowing who they are and what they're doing and what lights them up, like they're doing it. That's an empowered soul. From the school teacher to the person that probably works at Walmart um or anything. They're just doing what they want to do. They're growing their families and having a good day while they're doing it. That's
Mm,
an empowered soul.
I love that. Oh, I love that version. That's beautiful. Is there anything else you want to, I got your book, by the way. Oh.
Oh,
Is there anything else you want to share? Hey, look, we're twinsies.
we're twinsies today.
Anything else you want to share about your book? Maybe a little, you already gave us kind of little sneak peek in what you were sharing in the beginning, but is there anything else you want to add about your book before we wrap up?
Well, I am chapter number 4, angel number. And really, it's just taking something and making a good practice on setting your energy energetically and regrouping that energy. Can I read a quote from the book?
Please.
So just to spark your curiosity, this is my quote from the book when you get to the end of the chapter. And it is, every lifetime is an opportunity to become more masterful of your energy. And what you master today, you will reap in rewards for yourself tomorrow and into your future. That means for me, everything I'm doing right now and who I'll be 200 years from now, or 300 years from now, 500 years from now, all the experiences that I'm mastering, because I'm still mastering myself, I'll reap those if I choose to return back to planet Earth.
That puts it in perspective, doesn't it?
It really does. So start the chapter, start reaping your own rewards on how you want to set and regroup all your growth experiences here on planet Earth, and go out and just have a lot of fun. Get curious.
Love it. I love it. April, thank you so much for being here, sister. I really appreciate you. And I know that the audience that will be listening to this will also get a lot out of it. I feel confident in that. So thank you again.
Thank you, Sandra. Big hugs. Can't wait to see you sometime down the road.
That's right. All right, everybody in Empowered Soul Network, you've been listening to April Azzolino, and she's been sharing about her book. Let me read it again. Sacred Self, Everyday Rituals for the Modern Woman. And in her case, she said men can read it too. Have a good one.